Hey guys, it's Daniel here, and I'm super excited to be bringing you my 2020 Junior Gold Arsenal Building series. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm super thankful that you guys voted for this on Twitter. I put out a poll recently, about a week ago, and people voted on it, and you all said that you wanted to see it uploaded. I've been waiting all year to show you guys this. I filmed episodes 1 and 2 with Jared, my college roommate from this past year. I filmed those 2 episodes back in February, and I filmed episode 3 actually the day before they announced, Junior Gold is canceled this year. And so I put a poll out on Twitter, and you guys voted and said that you still wanted to see it. So without further ado, here is episode 1 of the 2020 Junior Gold Arsenal Building series. Thank you. Hey guys, it's Daniel and Jared back with you to go over today's episode, the first episode of 2020 Junior Gold Arsenal Building. So we bowled on the 2018 AMF Garland pattern today, which was the short pattern. It's 36 feet long and 25 milliliters and 1 to 3 point something ratio on the right side of the lane, as we are both righties. And so we're just going to kind of go over our arsenal and what that we used on the short shot today. So if you want to start, Jared, tell us what you thought.
So the main balls that I used have to be the Black Widow urethane, counterattack solid, pin down the instigator, and we added in a couple shots with the U motion.
Yes, so, and for this series, just so that everyone knows, we're going to be going over a 5-ball arsenal for each of us that we would use to kind of go into Junior Gold. I'll be bowling Junior Gold this year. He won't. He's not a youth bowler anymore. But a great addition to this year's Junior Gold to do it with Jared. So let's kind of start with the U motion. What did you think about the U motion today?
I feel like if you miss right, it was not going anywhere. It's just out the door. But definitely with how short the pattern was, if you could play the middle part of the lane, as you can see in one of the shots I had, and then I made a 4-4 right, and I basically played the same line, and it still worked out pretty well, but if you just kept chasing it right, it wasn't a very good move.
Okay. Yeah, and I would pretty much agree. Once I got a little too far right, I hit a little extra cliff on the pattern, and it didn't look too good for me. And one of my purple hammers, the 5-inch pin and PAP layout that I have, it's had a little too much surface on it, so it just kept trying to grab, and I know I had a shot that went Brooklyn in there with it, and it was just really rough for me to use that much surface on that pattern, which is kind of surprising. We have a very new lane surface that we were bowling on today at Fusion Alley, and so it was just really interesting to see how quickly that the ball grabbed. So, as far as reactive wrestling goes, then, what did you throw today?
Well, for one, pearls are not the way to go on the short shot.
Yes.
So I used pretty much just surface solids, which was my pin down instigator, but my counterattack did not have any surface on it. It was kind of the lane shine. So I just feel like if you chase it left, you had to be way more accurate. Took your miss room and made it tiny miss room.
Exactly.
It is terrible on like short shots like that. But if you stayed right, then you should be fine. It made my miss room a lot wider, and it was.
Yeah, that's a great tip for everybody going to Junior Gold that it might, they don't have much experience on sport patterns. It's definitely a great tip that you always want to try that gutter, see how much friction there is out there, and then kind of use that friction to be where you want to play on the lane. You don't want to have a force being too far left on a short pattern, just because, like Jared said, it does take your miss room and really minimize it, and really kind of takes away anything that you have miss room to the right or left. And then as far as throwing anything shiny, usually surface is the way to go on short patterns because you want the ball to start rolling And you don't want it to do a lot down lane. You want it to use a lot of energy early so that it doesn't make a huge hockey stick motion down lane, because that's uncontrollable on short patterns. And we see this all the time, and that's why urethane, as I'm wearing my not resin shirt, that's why urethane is such a viable option on many of today's short patterns, because it's able to start that roll phase and blend out the pattern and be very smooth down lane, which is great. And that's what I saw with the U-Motion. It took me a little bit to find the exact line, and a little more surface would have been better for me. But then once I started throwing my 4-inch purple hammer, which is stronger than my 5-inch, it definitely looked better. And I even bowled a game with Jared and did decently well with it. Definitely liked the look I had swinging it from like 5-6 at the arrows to roughly 3-4 down lane, not giving it a bunch of swing, not trying to give away the pocket, but just trying to get it into a roll and just smoothly enter the pocket. And you know, you're going to leave single pins as well with urethane. That's very common. So is there anything else that you suggest for people building their 5-ball arsenal for Junior Gold?
Definitely, on the short pattern, stay away from the ace and pearls.
Yeah. Pearls in general.
Yeah. Like he said, you pretty much want something with surface to get the ball into the roll phase earlier. Other than that, pretty much just like for the short patterns, make sure you have like different options. You don't want like 2 different balls that have the same motion down lane, or mess around with surfaces. Don't have same surfaces on same balls that are somewhat similar, because that's just pretty much wasting ball space in your bag, and that will not work for you, especially in Junior Gold.
And you know, I want to add that the reactive resin options that I threw on today's pattern, the short pattern, I definitely liked my pin-up tactics a lot. It looked pretty good for me, just kind of staying in that 9-10 area at the arrows, getting it down to 4-5 down lane, just trying to be really soft with it, not hit up on it overly aggressively at the bottom of the swing, because if I did, it would just take off. And I had 1,000 grit on it as well, which is definitely useful, like I said, to get the ball into that roll phase, make it read sooner so that it blends out the pattern down lane and doesn't do a whole lot. I definitely do not recommend throwing anything polished like Jared was talking about. I tried my Onyx Vibe and it just went Brooklyn. Just too much of a hockey stick, unpredictable motion. And so other than that, that kind of concludes today's episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to subscribe below, leave a like and a comment if you have anything to say, and look forward to next week's episode whenever we go over the long pattern and what that we do for that. We're going to be going over a 2019 Junior Gold pattern from Thunder Bowl. So be sure to check that out, and see you later. Peace.